Stephanie Lancaster, you conniving little slut. Let's talk about ambitions. Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to KRS TV. This is your boy Kenny, and this is Ambition Season 1, Episode 5. And the name of this episode is Killing Me Softly. Yes, this episode was fire, y'all, and I can't wait to talk about it. So let me begin. The episode opens up with Steven, Greg Peters, and Stephanie. Greg is letting Steven know that I need Thelma's place. If I don't get it, my investors walk, and I'm not having that. And he says, and if I lose this, I'm taking both of y'all asses on, and as of right now, you no longer represent me. So he literally walks out, and you see that Steven is mad. You know, he kind of looked at Stephanie with that evil look. Stephanie goes out to try to, talk Greg into not dropping them, and she's saying that, okay, what can I do to keep to keep you as a client? And he says, double my income. And she was like, okay. And he's like, yeah, make that happen. So we saw that go down. Then we see that Titus, pretty much comes to Amara's job and brings her signature cup of coffee. They're kind of in a lovey, they're kind of like in love mode. Husband's coming by to surprise his wife. And she was like, how the hell you get up here? How did you get past security? He was he was like, oh, trust me, I have my ways. But turns out Karen, the woman that she's working with who hired her, was the one who let Titus up. And she says, well, yeah, I thought that you would love your surprise. But then Karen was like, I got another surprise for you. And then, the thing is, I actually hired another assistant U.S. attorney, that's going to be working with you. And walks in Damian Collins, and you literally saw Titus completely go into anger mode. Like, soon as he saw Damian, he just was like, what the fuck? And Amara is just completely she's shocked. Like, what the hell? Like, I literally left Birmingham to get away from your ass, and now you're going to be working in the same vicinity as me, but he's going to be working in the narcotics division, but they're literally going to be connected with each other. And pretty much Titus kind of lets it be known how he feels, because all of a sudden when Damien went to extend his hand, Titus was looking like, if you don't get your bitch ass out of my face. Like, if words could really tell his expressions, Titus wanted to whoop Damien's ass right then and there. And he was saying that, things, and then also Damien mentions like, oh, well, yeah, I heard that you're now the general counsel for the what's the name of that family? It just totally slipped my for the pharmaceutical company. And he's like, yeah, that's definitely good. I hope everything works out for you. And Titus is kind of like giving that look like, you dirty motherfucker. I literally, the things in my life completely was ruined, in Birmingham on the account of you, where it nearly destroyed me and Amara's marriage. Now I've come here to have a new start, and now your punk ass follows us here. So immediately Titus just don't have shit to say. Amara is dumbfounded because she's like, what the hell? How the hell did he even get here? And, Amara's like, look, I had nothing to do with this. I'm just as surprised as you. He's like, yeah, whatever. And he just storms off. And I'm like, man, that damn Stephanie's evil as hell. Like, seriously. So, we see that Stephanie has a meeting with her father, Steven. Steven is like double his income. He's like, shit, we've actually helped him get half of the developments they got in Atlanta. Like, that son of a bitch got some nerve. But then she comes up with an idea. How about that airport concession? I can talk to Evan about it. And Steven lets her know, because of your dealings, your future is in serious debt. And you should have stayed the hell out of it. But she was like, but I work closely with you and I should have been privy to everything. And he says that you didn't know about it for a reason. Because eventually, Senior is kind of like a leaf in the wind. We would have gotten Thelma's place, but then you decided to interject yourself and you made the situation worse. And she was saying that, yeah, Evan is the way to go and that's where you should have went. But instead, you promised shit that you ain't, yet you really don't have the ink to deliver on, and now you made the situation worse. So he lets her know, you better bring Greg Peters back or you're finished here. And you already know, I may have threatened your ass before, but this one, I'm dead serious on. So you better get your shit together. And then we see that damn Stephanie's wheels start turning, and I'm like, Stephanie ain't gonna learn until shit really gets pulled from under her ass. So then we get a scene with Rondell and Kent, Kent Hamilton. We see that Rondell is literally trying to force her customers to sign the petition, to save the banks or whatever. But Ken is kind of saying that, like, look, it's good that you're in activist mode, but right now you need to be focusing on, doing what you got to do. There's a time and place, for all that, but you can just mention it. But Rondell is really adamant that she really wants to make sure they save the banks. And then the next thing you know, we see that Evan walks in, and we immediately see the tension between Evan and Kent, and they pretty much will look like they was about to square off and fight, because Evan's like, oh, so this what you do? You couldn't get to me any other way, so now you're going to use my sister? This is what you doing? And, Kent eventually ups and leaves, and he tells Rondell he's going to see her later. And he pretty much, Evan let it be known, you really need to be careful who you talk to, Rondell, because you really don't know what Kent's capable of. And then Rondell was like, why are you coming at me like this? And like Evan's saying is that, look, I heard about you hanging out with Amara, and I've also, and like, of course she knows that Stephanie had let him know about that. And then he was saying that now I see Kent up in here. There's a thing called political chess, and you need to keep your eyes open because the both of them might just be talking to you to get at me, and you need to slow your roll and just tell Dad I came by to look for him, but I was gonna get something to eat, but I lost my damn appetite, and he just ends up leaving. So then we get a scene with Bella. She's in her empty ass apartment, and she's trying to create a separate account under her actual name, Isabel. Bella True is just her business name. So then she gets a knock on the door. It's Roderick. And Roderick is like, what the hell happened up in here? And she's like, well, I got robbed. He looked at her like, wow, you're a better liar than I thought you were. I know that Evan was here the night that me and you had sex. And the fact that we did this and he was like in the other room, like, what kind of sick shit are you two on? You're having an affair with this man, ain't you? And he's probably Joaquin's Joaquin's father, isn't he? She straight lies. Oh no, that's not true. And he's like, yeah, you told me that Joaquin's father was a model that you had a one night stand with. She's like, that's true, but Evan made me do it. He made me have sex with you that night. He's crazy and he's controlling, and he did this to get back at me. He thinks of me as a possession. Completely played on Roderick's, affection for her. and literally played herself out to be the victim. And I'm like, that damn Bella is one hot mess. But one thing I can say about Bella be pulling some damn stunts. Because what she ends up doing later, I was laughing my ass off. But Roderick pretty much says that, yeah, I'm mad as hell at you right now, but no man has no right to treat you the way that he's treating you. But I'm going to handle this shit. And he walks out and she's like, what are you going to do? So then we see that Stephanie goes to, hold on. Oh yeah, my bad. So then, I'm sorry, before that, so after what happened between Roderick and Bella, we see that Amara has a run-in with Damien, and she pretty much tells Damien, like, look, you can't be here. You know what I'm saying? Me and my husband are in a good place, and what we had before is over. And Damien was like, look, I'm not here for you. There was an opening, and I took it. Lying his ass off. You there because Stephanie blackmailed your ass to come there to blow up their marriage. But then he was saying that, look, you know, I know this situation is going to be a little complicated, but I mean no harm. I'm just here to work, you know, no string, you know, I understand that what we had in the past is the past, and I'm not here to cause any problems, but I want to let you know you're going to be glad that I showed up. And I'm like, oh, so what you got going on, Damien? And later on, we see a side of Damien that's very sick. So stay with me here. So then we see that Stephanie goes to meet up with Marilyn. Remember Marilyn from the last episode? That's Marvin's wife. Remember, Evan is trying to get Marvin to bring his company Belton New to Atlanta. It's very successful in China, and he wants to bring that to lower unemployment and to raise the economy, you know, in Atlanta. And while she's having this conversation with Marilyn, Stephanie decides to tell this story. And she's like, yes, Marilyn, I remember the story about this couple where while the husband was going out making his millions, the wife was partying with celebrities and was doing recreational drugs, and she was into the rocker types, and she ends up finding this rock musician. They become lovers, and then he ends up drowning in her pool. And I remember I came in and I cleaned things up. And immediately we come to find out she's actually talking about Marilyn. This actually happened to her. That she at one point was cheating on her husband Marvin with a rocker who pretty much died of a drug overdose. And what ended up happening, he died in her house. And Stephanie had the body moved to a pool at his house. So pretty much, you know, Marilyn's, you know, situation was never exposed, and Stephanie knows her secret. So she pretty much said that, well, and then Marilyn was like, why are you doing this, Stephanie? She says, well, because I need you to get Marvin to bring Belton New to Atlanta. And she pretty much tells Stephanie, like, look, me and my husband are in a good place. And I already told you I can't give you what you want. I don't involve myself in the business. Well, then she was like, well, either you give me what I want, or I'm going to tell Marvin how you like to get bent over with the stroke of a guitar. I'm like, you evil bitch! Are you serious, Stephanie? Like, you are willing to ruin this girl's life just to get her husband to move his business to Atlanta? Because she's literally desperate right now. Yeah. But then Marilyn was like, yeah, but you were involved too. But she's like, yeah, for me, it would be a misdemeanor. But for you, it would be a scandal. Because nobody knows that you cheated on your husband, let alone your husband himself. So pretty much she tells him, this is what you're going to do. you're going to ask your husband questions, and whatever he says, you're going to refer back to me, and I will refer it back to Evan. And then, like, Marilyn is, like, literally stunned that Stephanie is doing this. And then this bitch had the nerve to say, "Oh, Marilyn, you look parched. More tea?" I'm like, oh my God. Stephanie is so vicious. It's ridiculous. So then we see that Stephanie goes to meet with Greg, and she pretty much gave him some information, and he overlooked it, and he's like, "So what's this about?" And Stephanie's like, "It's your miracle that you said. You know, it's an airport concession. Yeah, you have a portfolio about this bar and everything, and you've been doing all of your business through this bar, quote unquote, you know, as far as on paper, but yet you're doing other shit." But she said that you can use this airport concession for the same thing. And she was saying that, look, I can get Evan to approve it, and you know, the thing about these airport concessions, they're gold mines. Do you know how many people walk through airports daily? Like, you can make a serious load of money having this airport concession. But he lets her know, as far as you Carlisles, this is your last shot. So, pretty much it was a threat. So, then we get a scene with Carly and Lori. You know, they still doing their thing, and Carly is saying that, you know, what do I really mean to you, Lori? Because it seemed to me that all we ever do is have sex. We don't go anywhere, we don't do anything. And Lori was like, "Look, the press will have a field day if what we got going on gets out." You know, and Carly mentions that she's having this monologue, you know, reading, and she wants Lori to come. And Lori tells her that, look, Carly, me and you got a good thing going on. Don't complicate it. And of course, Carly gets mad and she leaves, and she says that, look, you know, that's not enough for me. I deserve more. And she ends up leaving. So then we see that Stephanie meets up with Evan, and you know, she pretty much throws it to Evan that that airport concession, you need to give it to Greg Peters. And Evan was like, "Hell no, I ain't giving it to no damn Greg Peters." But then she was saying that what if I can promise you that you can get Marvin to bring Delta Nu to Atlanta. You know, I got Marilyn on our team now. You know, think about it. 2,600 employees, you know, and all of this, and you know, because they're pretty much at home now, and you know, she's kind of getting them on the idea like, okay, you kind of got something here, so this is something that can be workable. But she said that, but put a hold on that because we have a guest and I need to attend to them. We come to find out the damn guest is Bella's ass. Bella then damn near sobbed to Stephanie that she got robbed, and Stephanie, you know, really feels sorry for her, and she offers, you know, that her and Joaquin can stay at their cottage house on you know, until she gets back on her feet. And you just see that Evan's face is cracked. Like, he's like, this rotten bitch is now in my house and now got my wife on her side. And she is just playing the defenseless victim and everything. And then she's saying that, well, honey, I can't let you leave. You should stay here, you know, for the night and everything in our guest room. And then while she's in there, Bella starts smiling. She's kind of jumping up and around and everything. But before they leave the room, you know, Evan's like, well, I will call to the police and make sure that they get everything that they took from you. And she's like, well, thank you, Stephanie, Mr. Mayor. And then while they walking down the hall, Stephanie was like, yeah, make sure that they get everything. He's like, count on it, I got it. So he's like, hell yeah, I'm gonna get her all her shit, because I don't want her in my damn house. But Bella is feeling her damn stuff. She's like, got his ass. I have to admit, I said Bella be making no moves though, but Bella is just Bella is just as vicious as Stephanie. And Stephanie has no idea that not only has as that the two of them been messing around, but Joaquin is his son. So I'm like, wow. So we next see that we get a scene with Amara and Titus. Titus is in a funk. He ain't trying to hear nothing that Amara gotta say. He's pissed. He's like pissed off and shit. There's a lot of hostility that he's showing towards Amara. And pretty much, you know, she was like, look, I have no idea that he was going to be there. I'm just as surprised as you are. You know, he just showed up. I had no idea about this. And then he was like, you know, that cocky look on his face. Ooh, I just wanted to fuck him up. Like, he's that angry. But then she's pretty much saying that, look, I'm not going to let him come between us. And he's like, whoa. And he's like, yeah. And look what happened the last time. Like, I'm really going to believe that shit. So, he's just really in his feelings. And, you know, he's just not here for it. So, then we get a scene where Amara is taking a shower, you know, because Titus is so mad that he just says, I'm going to go out for a drive. So she's in the house by herself and she's hearing like somebody is in the house. We see that Damian Collins' old trifling ass is in her house, you know, while she's in the shower. He literally, you know, picks up her underwear that she took off before she got in the shower and he's sniffing her panties. And I'm like, oh, this motherfucker is sick. So Stephanie, you not only brought back the person that ruined their marriage, but yet you brought back somebody who's dangerous, who could literally be a danger to the both of them. Because this fool is in their damn house, and she's thinking it's Titus, and he's literally moving all around her. Like, he's literally like the intruder. Like, he's gotten all access to their house, and while she comes out, she calls for Titus, and you know, while she's looking for Titus, we see that damn Damian Collins is literally moving around her, and I'm like, that's a sick son of a bitch right there. So then we get a scene with Rondell and Kent, and immediately because of the run-in she had with Evan, she now starts questioning Kent, like, you know, so she's like, so tell me something. Are you just coming on to me to get back at my brother? You know, and he kind of admits, yeah, at first, when I first met you, yeah, I had ulterior motives as to why I was talking to you, but I'm really into you, though. And she's like, you know what? You just another lying politician. I don't believe anything you say, you know. And she's pretty much saying that, he's like, what do I have to do to show you that I'm being honest? And she was like, look, you're gonna have to show me something. Figure it out. You got all those fancy degrees and whatnot. Put two and two together and figure something out. So then we see that Amara is watching television after getting out the shower. You know, Damien tiptoed his little nasty ass about the house. She has no idea that this fool literally has access to our house. But she's watching television, and we see that Roderick is doing like his report, and he does this little thing on air where he exposes Mayor Lancaster, saying that, yeah, we just lately found out that, you know, Mayor Lancaster was flirting with this woman and he was kind of a little too close. And then he pretty much says that Mayor Lancaster is nothing but a bully and a coward, and that the people of Atlanta deserve better. So immediately Amara's like, oh, what the hell's going on here? That Roderick, you know, because she remembers seeing them, you know, at the gala. And she was saying that, yeah, they were real chummy at the gala, and all of a sudden now he's on air dissing the mayor. Something's going on. So, of course, Amara is making notes of this. Then we see that after Roderick's shift, he comes into the parking lot, and he notices that there's a guy standing there, which is Evan. he literally presses record on his smartphone. He goes up to Evan, and he was saying that, so what's going on? You pretty much on air dissing me and shit. What's really on your mind? We just two men. Let's have a conversation. And he said that you should go to jail for what you did to Bella. And he was like, what do I do, huh? Yeah, what I do? Exactly. Nothing, because you have no proof. And then next thing you know, Roderick was about to go to attack Evan, and all of a sudden these goons come behind him with their sticks and start beating his ass and shit. And then all of a sudden, old Evan with his simple ass starts talking his shit like, you think you gonna go on there and talk shit about me, bitch? I'm the mayor of Atlanta. And I'll be real with you, bruh. I'm not a fan of your show. I think it's dry, it's uneventful, and the people of Atlanta deserve better. I'm like, oh, you shady ass. And then he pretty much called him like, you bitch ass. And then he says that, yo, I'm here to let you know, this is my city. I run this shit. And they literally beat Roderick unconscious, but we see that he caught everything on that smartphone video. So the whole damn thing has been recorded. So I'm like, oh shit, he got some leverage on Evan's ass now. So then we see that Carly is at this club doing a monologue, and Lori actually shows up, which actually makes Carly happy and everything. They after she does her thing, she gets an applause. She goes and embraces Lori. They kiss, and there's a girl who takes a picture. Was like, "Ooh, young love, yes." And I'm like, "Oh, that shit's gonna get out in the press." The Purefoy and the Lancaster, because their families are rival enemies. So you kind of have like a lesbian Romeo and Juliet situation going on here. Very Shakespearean, and it's gonna cause some mess. So then we see that Bella is back at her is back at her loft. All of her stuff is back, and Evan's like, "You happy now?" But he was like saying that, yeah, but I had to do what I had to do to teach you a lesson. And she's like, yeah, and now I taught you one. And then he lets her know, okay, from this point on, it's strictly business between you and me. We're done. And we'll discuss an arrangement where I can see my son. And she was like, we're done. So don't worry about Joaquin at all. And he's like, oh no, you're not just gonna tell me I can't have any rights with my son. And she's like, oh really? Then won't you start treating him like you do Trey and Carly? Won't you take him out, for a day, like maybe buy him an ice cream cone in public, huh? And then all of a sudden they kind of like literally are squaring off at each other. And she's like, do you really want to do this? And he's like, do you? And he walks off, and Bella starts crying because she in love with his crazy ass. She in love with his ass, and she knows damn well, and she just can't accept the fact that she's a side chick and Joaquin is a side kid, as I mentioned before. That's the situation. So then we see that Stephanie meets up with Damien in her car, and he pretty much tells her that he saw Amara and Titus, and she's like laughing at this because she thinks this shit is funny, but you ain't even realizing that you're putting both Amara and Titus in danger because Damien is crazy as shit. And pretty much Damien's like, wow, damn, you're hurting innocent people turns you on? Seriously? And she's like, first of all, they're not as innocent, Amara is not as innocent as she appears to be. And then all of a sudden Damien, because Damien got a hot dick, he's like, wow, it's been a while since I've been in a car with a beautiful woman. And he starts to put some moves on Stephanie, and Stephanie's like, pump your brakes, bruh. But then he was like, I'm sorry, but I just get the feel that you haven't been properly screwed in a long time. Maybe I'll loosen you up a bit. And then she's like, maybe that vulgarity and gallows humor may work on ill-bred beast women like Amara, but you'll have no luck here. So stick to the plan, blow up the Hughes' marriage, and get the hell out of my car. But we can definitely tell her ass was bothered, because he definitely struck a nerve. Like, yeah, she ain't been getting none, and she's looking for somebody to play in her jewelry box. So then we see that Kent, Rondell comes in, to the restaurant. Kent has completely shut everything down. He got the whole place set up. I mean, it's like candlelight in you. I mean, literally, I was just getting candlelight in you. That shit was playing in my mind the whole scene. And he massages her feet, and then he puts Luther Vandross and Cheryl Lynn's If This World Were Mine. I was like, oh, he was putting the Mac down, and he got her favorite food, and pretty much she's like, I think I want to have my dessert now. When they start making out, I'm like, ooh, Kent's a smooth operator, but you gotta watch his ass, because he definitely got an agenda. But yeah, he definitely got Rondell. And I was like, ooh, okay. So then, this is the reason why I opened up where I said, Stephanie Lancaster, you conniving little slut. Because that's what she said about Amara. But let's just put it out there that Stephanie, you proved in this scene that you're a more trifling slut than Amara's ass. Because she goes to see Greg Peters and gives him a pre-qualification letter for the airport concession. So, he's in line to get it. But still, the concession has to be awarded. So pretty much she was like, so does this mean you're staying on with Perkins and Carlisle? And he was like, yeah, if I can work directly with you. And she was like, I wouldn't have it any other way. So all of a sudden, he kind of starts pressing up on Stephanie. Stephanie pulls up the little, she pretty much pulls up, the little knife that he uses as his letter opener on him. And he's like, this is the second time your family done put a knife to me. And the next thing you know, she cutting off buttons. And the next thing you know, he's banging her out on his desk. And she is just moaning for dear life. I'm like, you got a nerve to talk about Amara, but here you are getting banged out by the enemy, Greg Peters. So she practically used her puss to get him back on the firm. So I'm sitting like, ain't this the damn pot calling the kettle black? You talking about Amara's ass, but yet you up in here being a nasty tramp yourself. And I was just like, damn, that Stephanie's a messy bitch. But yeah, we definitely can see that, yeah, things are gonna get even more crazier from here on out. So that's what I have, y'all. If I missed anything, put it down in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. But subscribe to my channel. Click that bell so you get notifications every time I drop a video. Also subscribe to my second channel. Excuse me. Also subscribe to my second channel, Real Tea Real Talk. The link is in the description box. Also follow all of my platforms in the description box as well. Also, like this video, comment on this video, and share this video. And I'll be back with the next episode of Ambitions. So until next time, everybody, take care.